look back at it with season 2 once again. It's your boy Dee Dot. About to do an interview with Third Degree, who also is a producer and an artist. Going to be stopping by to talk to us about his time creating music and some of the projects that he's working on and more. If this is your first time tuning into the Major Music Lounge, I like to talk things all music production. So if you're like a music producer, you're a sound designer, audio engineer, app developer, you work like for one of these companies, for example, like Native Instruments, Akai, maybe Arturia, some of these companies who make like MIDI controllers and production software and things along those lines. Definitely reach out to me at majormusicent@gmail.com. Would love to have you on for a conversation about production and some of the things that you're working on. You could also follow me on Instagram at d._majormusic. And while you're here, subscribe to the channel, because I don't just do the podcast, but also a lot of other videos on gear, general production talk on this channel. So mainly like to post things in relation to machine, in relation to MPC and iOS beat making. So that's kind of the 3 areas that I really focus on. And if you're into those things, definitely subscribe to this channel.
All right, what's good? I'd like to welcome y'all to another Major Music Podcast. It's your boy Dee Dot. Today we're joined by Third Degree, who's also an artist and producer. And I wanted to really have him on the show because I am too an artist and producer, and I feel we can kind of connect in that regard. So definitely a pleasure to have you on, my brother. What's good with you, man?
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
Oh man, no problem at all, man. Kind of like I was saying a little bit before the show, I've been following your work from afar for maybe about 2 years or so, maybe a little longer, and just been kind of admiring some of the work that you're doing. And we're gonna kind of get into that, man. But big ups to you on a lot of the projects that you've been working on, man. Just want to give you your flowers in that regard.
Thank you.
No problem, man. So tell us a little bit about yourself, man. How long have you been into production, and how long have you been writing music?
Oh man, I guess since I've been actually rapping since I was about maybe 7 or 8. Production came a little later on, maybe in my teens, maybe about 15, 16 years old. But music, since I was born, it actually goes back to my father. My father was a drummer, and he used to play drums for New Edition when they went on tour and stuff like that. So he was a drummer. So all of that just passed down hereditary, just in my blood.
Word, man. Have you played instruments at any point in your life?
I tried. I tried to play instruments. Like my mother, she got me on violin when I was younger. I tried to play piano, but for me, I never had the patience. I just wanted to play. I didn't want to learn how to play. I just wanted to immediately just start knowing how to play.
Yeah.
And it's not like that. You definitely got to put in time and hours and practice and practice and practice. And I didn't have the patience and the attention span to stick to any particular instrument.
Yeah, I kind of relate to that. Like, I grew up playing a lot of brass instruments. So like when I was probably about the time that you said you started music, 8, 9, 10 years old, I was playing trumpet in like elementary, middle school, and then in high school moved on to like baritone and French horn. But then midway through high school, I stopped playing instruments, and I picked up trumpet, probably two years ago, picked it back up. But as far as like wanting to learn the keys and stuff, you're right, man. It's tough because you drive that fine line of you want to get better musically in a lot of ways with learning the instrumentation, but it's just the investment in time that goes into it
Yeah,
when you could be creating music. So I
yeah.
get you there, man.
Like when I was on violin, before they even give you a violin, they give you a box
Wow.
with a stick that's like shaped like the violin, and just you have to spend hours just practicing hand
That's the
movements,
form. Yeah.
just the form. Before you even get the actual instrument, you got to stay on that for a few weeks. And I'm like, they gave me a box. Like I can't, like I can't get it. So it's like then they got to get you on like Itsy Bitsy Spider, and like you playing all of this like ABC type stuff. So it's like I just want to play.
Yeah, man.
So I never had the patience for it.
Man. I hope maybe one day, man, I'll at least try to learn the keys a little bit better than I can now. But yeah, I
Yeah.
don't have the patience for it right now. I know it'll make me better, but we'll see.
Mhm.
So your when I listen to your music, I kind of get this 90s type vibe from it.
Mhm.
Who are some of the artists and producers for that matter? Because we're gonna kind of get into that as well. But who are some of the artists and producers that inspired you?
Oh man, Dre, Swiss, Timbaland, Pharrell, the goats of it, you know. Just listening to what they did and how their sound is still being mimicked today by artists and stuff like that. So it's like those people really shaped my sound and the things that I do, you know. Production for me has really come full circle because when I first started, when I actually first started making beats, my first interaction with trying to make a beat was just looping tapes. Like I used to record songs with radios. Like I had two radios. I would play the beat on one and then record myself on the other, right? So like there used to be like this late radio show, this college radio show. They would play like a lot of underground hip hop music. And a lot of times the DJs would just like let the beat play. So I would record it on the radio. And then a lot of times it would only be like a minute or so. So I had to find a way to like loop it on the tape to make it longer so I can make a song out of it. So that was like my first instance of like putting a track together. And then after that, I want to say this was maybe 96, 97. I had my on the PlayStation, the first PlayStation. They came out with this game called MTV Music Generator.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't know if
yeah,
you remember that.
yeah. I
You
remember
remember
that.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So MTV Music Generator, it allowed you to play, it allowed you to make your own beats, and it came with a lot of stock samples like kicks and snares and stuff like that. And then I would try to recreate beats that I heard on albums. And they even allowed you to sample on there up to like 5 seconds.
Wow.
So a lot of my early demo stuff came from beats that I was making on there. And then I taught a lot of my friends. I taught one of my friends how to make beats on there, and he just like blew me out of the water. He started making beats on there better than me. I think because he was in band too. You know, the band people, they know, you know what I'm saying? They know about scale and production and really putting the music together. So he started doing that and blew me out of the water. So I kind of stopped. I kind of stopped. I was like, all right, you got it. But yeah, that was like my first introduction into making beats.
Man, yeah, because they had that game. I remember the MTV Music Generator. I didn't have PS1, but I remember a lot of my homies did. And then Then around that time, that's kind of when I got involved with just, I used to use that Magic Music Studio,
Mhm.
and we used to rap on one of those gray, like those thin microphones that you'd have
Yeah,
on a PC.
yeah.
And kind of like you was mentioning with the two tape players,
Mhm.
we used to record into a PC with that little thin PC mic. I think you could still find some of those things somewhere, but hey,
Yeah.
you gotta use what you gotta use, man.
Yeah, you got to use the tools available because it's like back in the day, going to a studio, that wasn't really a thing if you didn't have any money. You know what I'm saying? And I was, like I said, I was like 15, 16, and I had a part-time job, but I didn't have like studio money job.
Yeah,
You know, studios
yeah,
were a lot of money back then.
a lot more than now.
You know, so I was recording on tapes, and then eventually when we got our first computer in the house, I was like, I gotta find out a way. How can I get this music onto a CD? That was the thing. You had to figure it out. It wasn't like, because I was recording, I had upgraded and I started recording on the karaoke machine.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I got a karaoke machine for Christmas, and I can actually put a CD in that had like instrumentals on it, and then record on tape. And then the karaoke machine had like a echo that you could turn up and down. It had a little reverb on it, so that was like my mixing and like mastering right then and there. And then trying to figure out how do I play this and then record it onto a computer so I can burn it onto a CD. You know, it was trying to figure it out.
Man,
You know,
it's so much easier to create music now. They have no idea, man. They have no idea.
I tell you, these kids, they don't know. They don't know the struggle. They don't know the struggle.
Man, what you using currently to do a lot of your production on?
Uh, for me right now, it's FL Studio.
Okay.
I started with GarageBand, and GarageBand was really easy to use, but I couldn't really do everything that I wanted to do with it. So for me, FL Studio right now is like the best way for me to get everything that I need done. I know a lot of people like to use Logic or Reason or Cubase and stuff like that, but for me, FL Studio is it serves all of my needs for now.
Word. I do like the fact that you was speaking on using GarageBand. What I always like to tell a lot of people, especially if it's maybe somebody that's just getting into production, definitely don't sleep on GarageBand as far as being
Yeah.
able to make music.
I made some hot beats with GarageBand.
I feel that, like, because I felt what you said in terms of it has enough for somebody that's starting out.
Mhm.
But like as far as other things, a sampler, for example, they don't really have a good built-in sampler for
Yeah.
GarageBand as they
Yeah.
would probably for FL Studio or Logic or whatever.
Mhm.
And then a few other things in regards to mixing, but I mean, you can make some pretty dope beats with GarageBand if that's all you have.
Yeah.
I never really, outside of like on the iPad, FL Studio Mobile, I haven't really used it much. So I couldn't speak on it. I do know it's pretty popular in terms of a lot of people being able to use that. Is that all you kind of use since you've been doing production, or have you been into like other programs?
For now, it's all I use. I mean, I have my Akai Mini that I use to
MPK, yeah.
I use to chop up samples. For now, that seems to do the job. I mean, even before GarageBand, I started on GarageBand on the iPad. I mean, that's where I really like started to like practice and hone my craft was just using the iPad and making beats at work, like, you know. And then I transferred to the computer, and then I went to FL Studio. So it's a gradual thing, you know. I'm sure maybe I'll outgrow or even surpass using FL and go to something else beyond that. But for now, I'm there.
Yeah, and that's also the other thing I've kind of realized. Like, I'm mainly, out of all the things that I use, I would probably say I use Machine the most, maybe MPC that are close to. And I was one of those guys when I first started producing. I had to have the latest and the greatest. And since I got a little older, I just more in the mindset of sticking with one, maybe two DAWs that you use a lot, and don't necessarily spread yourself too thin, because I feel like you should learn a DAW as much as you can in terms of features, how to navigate it, opposed to trying to learn each and every DAW that comes out. Now, the other side to it, I like though using other DAWs sometimes because it's just of the workflows, but I also like to keep it simple. With that being said, well, now as far as I've listened to some of your projects as well, kind of like I was saying earlier, and I think you had that My Time in Rap. That was a pretty good one, and then you had that Christmas video as well. That are you working on any projects right now?
Well, I'm working on the follow-up to My Time in Rap, My Time in Rap 2. Looking to have that out towards the end of the year. And just producing for a couple of artists. And I do a lot of features too for other artists too. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Definitely one of the things I would like to possibly, get some work in with you in the future. So, I'm probably gonna reach out to you as well.
Let me know.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I want you to talk a little bit about, being a producer and an artist. I can relate to how that workflow would be. You gotta make time pretty much for everything. You got to make time being an artist. You got to make time being a producer. You got to make time to promote your project. Tell us a little bit about how do you manage going in between the two?
Well, for me, like, I really started producing because beats were expensive. Like, originally, as a rapper, what you would do is just go on YouTube, rip somebody's beats, and put out a project. That was what we did, But then after a while, it got to a point where it's like, okay, we can't really go too far with this song because we didn't pay for it. Or we try to go back and pay for it and realize it's already been bought. So I really started back up producing out of necessity. So it's like, okay, I can't like rip these beats anymore. Let me start trying to make my own. And just really sitting down and like focusing on what's my sound and how do I make this sound like what I hear in my head, So just production wise, it was really out of sense of, and that's really for anything that I did. Like I shot my own videos because, shooting videos is expensive. So I was like, you know what? Let me try to figure it out on my own. And I ended up going to school for graphic design and video production and getting a degree. So I have a lot of skill and knowledge in that area of production and video production. So just making beats, it was mainly because I needed beats for my projects and for the people that I knew that rap. So I wanted to do that for myself, So Yeah.
Yeah, our paths are very similar in that regard as well. And like at one time, I figured it would be a lot easier for me. Well, I won't necessarily say easier, but I wanted to at least learn how to shoot my own videos.
Mm-hmm.
And I went and invested in a camera twice.
Mm-hmm.
And I shoot my own videos on one hand, but on the other hand, I sometimes work directly with videographers
Mm-hmm.
for some of those projects. And then I mean, yeah, I feel you'll need whole beats. Beats are expensive. It was a little different in that regard because I was a producer first, but like I hung out with a lot of guys that rap. So that's kind of how I got into the rapping side of things as well. Because going to the studio with them, and I remember some of the times where they asked me to get in the booth, and initially, like I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and just kind of had to streamline things from there. And of course, got better at it. I also like the fact that you also use your production as a not necessarily a hustle, but you sell beats as well. A lot of people sleep on that opportunity. They're just making beats, but it's just sitting on their computers.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about, just having those different streams of revenue, not only from selling beats, but also submitting to like publishing opportunities and things of that nature. Like, who do you use as far as a platform for your beats?
Well, I had what was the other one? I think it was Avid something. I forgot. I stopped using them anyway because of it wasn't enough eyes on it. So I went to BeatStars.
Okay.
I went to BeatStars, and I think currently now I got about like 13,500 views on plays on
Word.
that one. And then I use YouTube as well to
Yeah.
link it back to the BeatStars page. So right now that's good. And like you said, it's another revenue stream. It's another revenue stream besides music, especially with licensing. Getting into TVs and movies. That that revenue stream it's endless. It's a massive opportunity. It's something that can also be willed. It can be willed that royalties can be passed down. So it's like it's definitely a good something to get into, especially for producers.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've been on BeatStars for a minute now, and I think yeah, before that it was My Flash Store, and I think they changed to Airbit.
Yeah, Airbit. That was the other one that
That was it. Okay, yeah. And I just like kind of like you said about BeatStars. I like the opportunities because they always sending opportunities to the
Mhm.
community. If you want to link up with a certain artist, I remember they had the opportunity for Royce the 5'9" a while
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
And then they have a lot of other publishing opportunities for you to get in television and film. And then just I feel as a platform, they try to make it, not to say that Airbit doesn't do it, because I haven't experienced them in a couple of years, so I can't really speak on how they've changed.
Mhm.
But I just like how with BeatStars, they were a little bit more inclusive to artists
Yeah.
because it's kind of almost like BeatStars is a social network for artists and producers.
Yeah.
Uh, the way that they present it and the way that they have the opportunities to it. Any producer, if you're starting out, kind of like we were saying, don't have all of your instrumentals just stuck on your computer.
Mhm.
Get them on BeatStars, get out there, sell your beats. It may take you a little bit of time to build that following to be able
Mhm.
to start selling beats, but don't give up after the first try.
Yeah, because you never know that beat that you made 10 years ago that you think ain't no good, it might be the one for a particular artist.
Yeah, and I've sold several like that where I've gotten into the habit of, even if I don't like something, I mean, I'm gonna finish it,
Yeah.
at least in, what I feel is ready to be uploaded. But I've had beats like that where I've uploaded it and somebody ended up buying it.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, you never know who likes
Yeah.
something that you don't like. Man, what's your plans for the rest of 2021? You got anything cooking?
Right now, like I said, focusing on the My Time at Rap 2 project. Another one of my man's, his name, he go by the name of Alias. Me and him are trying to do a joint project together. He just dropped a project called Listen Up. I'm featured on that one. So we're trying to do a joint project together, and just more production for me. Just more production and trying to get these beats out. Like a lot of times it's like, you get beat block.
Yeah.
So sometimes you got to step back from it and say, all right, let me not focus too hard on it, and then it comes back to you. So just trying to refocus and get these beats out and focus on this project, My Time in Rap 2. I already got a couple of joints already recorded, so just trying to wrap up and get these last few joints out there.
Yeah, My Time in Rap 2. As far as like your social platforms online, where can people find you and all your music?
My music's scattered all over the place. But right now, on Instagram, you can find me third_Carrera, Carrera. On the link on the bio, I got a link to all the projects on right now, currently on Bandcamp. I have my first 2 albums on iTunes currently. I took the rest off because streaming for independent artists is not the best. Streaming is more so for the popular, not for the talented. So I'm trying to see what I can do with these other projects that I have and where could be an appropriate home for them.
Yeah, one of the things I noticed too on your page, you're still one of the artists that utilize Bandcamp, which is a great thing for independent artists, because a lot of people, like, they don't know about the benefits of Bandcamp in terms of how you can collect more of your money opposed to, like you were saying, from streaming, because streaming is very minimal especially for independent artists.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about, your approach to, because I still use Bandcamp too. Like I may upload something first to the platforms like Apple Music, Spotify, but then I also upload to Bandcamp just because there are a significant amount of people still that use Bandcamp. Tell us a little bit about your thought that goes into that.
Well, I always say Bandcamp is like an independent label. You got your majors that give you all these looks and a lot of eyes on your projects, and they may have the bigger budget, but Bandcamp is more independent in the sense that you have to do all of the legwork, but you end up reaping all the benefits. I'll give you an example. I uploaded a single that I did last year called Broken Hearts, and I got about 5,000 streams off of that. And monetarily wise, that received maybe $20.
Wow.
Versus me releasing My Time in Rap and getting maybe 25 to 30 downloads the first day and making well over $500 something.
Wow. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like I said, it's not for the talented, it's for the popular streaming services. So I mean, I don't know who came up with 500, 1,500 streams is one album sale. I don't know where these metrics came from.
Crazy, man.
You know, so Bandcamp definitely allows you to, you know, benefit more from your music.
Yeah.
You know?
It's also a free service to use to get your music on there. So yeah, you're gonna have your distro kids and all your other distribution sites. Not saying don't have those, but definitely explore using Bandcamp because that could definitely be beneficial to you.
Exactly. You know, and it's a lot of things that you can do with it too. You know, sell merch, videos. You know, there's a way for people to purchase your entire catalog of music. You know, you can subscribe to a person to where every time they drop, you get that music right then and there. You just have to pay like a monthly service, you know. So there's definitely ways to utilize Bandcamp in that way.
Check it out, Bandcamp. Man, one question I always ask to every guest is, in your case, you can mix it up because you produce and you rap, but 3 artists or producers that you would like to collab with to, let's just say, all right, third degree, we're gonna get you in the studio with 3 of your favorite producers and rappers. Who are those 3 that you would record an EP with?
Oh man. Rapper wise first, Royce the 5'9" off the bat.
You my second guest to say that.
Huh?
You my second guest in a row to say that.
Yo, Royce is the GOAT. He's the GOAT. Gotta be Kanye.
Okay.
Kanye he's just different. Genius among men. And I guess Hove.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess Hove.
A pretty solid list, yeah.
Producer wise, Just Blaze.
Yeah. Yeah, man. You know, when I survive, I get when I listen to a lot of your music. Just Blaze.
Madlib.
Madlib. Yeah.
And I guess it's a split between either Timbaland or Pharrell. Either or, one of the two.
Either or, you can't go wrong either way.
Either or, yeah.
Can't go wrong either way, man. That's a solid list. Pulled some solid lists, man. It was definitely a pleasure to have you on the Major Music Podcast. And you know, anytime you have any projects or you want to get on and chop it up about production, feel free to reach out to me, man. I like to, you know, have guests on more than one time. So this is a platform I want to kind of create for creators, music creators to get on. So you're definitely welcome to check us out again.
Yo, man, I appreciate you having me, man. This was great. I love to do it again. Let's chop it up.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Let's do something. That last EP you did, Raptivist, that shit was fire.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, man. We're gonna definitely do something, man. Right. Because I'm wrapping up a project now, and I'm actually kind of starting another one too. So I'll be reaching out to you real soon. And then same with you, man. If you got anything, feel free to send it my way.
Will do, bro. Will do.
This has been another edition of the Major Music Podcast. Third Degree and Dee Dot, and we're out.